All right, so I had a request to do number 13 from the online homework from section 2.1. So the question asks, find the vertex and axis of the graph, then rewrite in vertex form. So we're given the equation f of x is equal to 5x squared plus 7x minus 4. Now there's a bunch of different ways you can do this, but we only got to one way in class today. So I'm only going to show you that way, and then tomorrow in class I'll show you another way. So the only way we know how to find the vertex is to put our equation into vertex form. Well, right now it's in standard form. Remember, vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, where h comma k is your vertex. So to get from standard to vertex form, we have to complete the square, okay? Because x minus h squared, that's a perfect squared. So we have to complete the square. Remember, our first step to completing the square is to group our x's together and then factor out the coefficient in front of the x squared. So since I don't want that 5 there, I'm going to factor it out of just the x's. So if I do that, I would get 5 x squared. Well, 7, if I factor out a 5, it's not nice, so I'm going to leave it as a fraction, over 7/5 x. And at the same time, I'm going to set up to complete my square. Okay? So I'm going to leave a blank space so I can set up to complete my square. So then I still have this minus 4. And then, so I don't change my equation, since I'm adding something here, I'm also going to subtract something on the same side. Because if I added 5 to get rid of it, I'd subtract 5 all on the same side. So, but I'm not just going to add whatever's here. I'm going to add whatever's here times by 5. So I don't forget that, I'm going to write 5 times something. Now, to complete the square, remember, you take your middle term, so 7/5, and you divide it by 2. But dividing by 2 is the same as timesing by 1/2. Since we're dealing with fractions, it's easier to think of timesing by 1/2. So you take your middle term, divide it by 2, and then square it, and that's what you add here. So this becomes 7/10. So you take 7/10 and you square it, okay? Then what you can do is actually figure out, okay, what are we going to put in here? What are we multiplying that 5 by? So 7/10 squared is 7 squared over 10 squared, which is 49 over 100. So then we can actually finish. We completed the square, so now we can factor this. So my 5 is still up front. I need something that multiplies up to 7/10 squared, but adds up to 7/5. Well, the whole point of completing the square is whatever this middle number divided by 2 is, that's what it's going to be. So it'll be x plus 7/10, all of that squared. And then I have minus 4, and this is technically 5 over 1. So minus 5 times 49 is 245. And then it'll still be over 100. Okay, and then I don't like dealing with these fractions, so I'm going to reduce them. 5 goes into both, so I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 5. So I get 20 on bottom, and let's think, 245 divided by 5 is 49, I believe. So that means I'm going to have 5x plus 7 over 10 squared. I still have this minus 4, and then this is technically minus 49 over 20. I want to combine these. Well, in order to combine a fraction and a whole number, they have to have a common denominator. So I'm going to times this by 20 over 20 to get a common denominator. So 5x plus 7/10 squared. Negative 4 times 20 is negative 80 over 20 minus 49 over 20. So then to simplify completely, negative 80 minus 49 is negative 129 over 20, and nothing goes into both of them, so that's simplified. And then the rest of it. So this is my equation in vertex form. So that was the last one, rewrite in vertex form. So rewritten in vertex form, you just have to complete the square. So now remember my vertex, because remember vertex form was y equals a x minus h squared plus k. So my vertex is the opposite of h, k. So I'm going to do the opposite of this. So negative 7/10. And then whatever my k value is. In this case, that's negative 129 over 20. So that is my vertex. Then my axis of symmetry, if you think about a quadratic, it makes a parabola. Here's our vertex. Our axis of symmetry goes straight through that vertex. So my axis of symmetry will just be whatever my x value of my vertex is. So it'll be x equals -7/10. And that is how you do number 13 under section 2.1. Remember, this was the long way to do it. There is an easier way to do it, but we haven't talked about it in class yet, so this is the way I'm showing you. So tomorrow, I will show you a slightly easier way. There you go.